goal here is to like talk about developing website. But before getting into the detail, since in the early stage you have like much more attention and the later part you might be sleeping, so I will introduce myself in a little bit visual way. You definitely got a little bit introduction about me, but if I'm not doing what I am doing most of the time, organizing sessions, talking about JavaScript and all this stuff. And other than this, before actually COVID time, I used to jump from the sky because there was nothing better than this. And then also was doing some running because this is a very good way to stay away from home. And then if I'm not doing all this stuff, I used to like to have a 10,000 volt shock. And this is really shocking. So if you need like more shock in your life, let's have some 10,000 volt shock. Definitely I like to share whatever the limited knowledge I have. And this was all good before 2020. And once this 2020 started, things take a little bit turn. So I get inside my closet, pretty much similar setup, and spend pretty much day and night over there and focused on the mobile app. And it's grew a little bit. We are close to 1 million users for this. And 2020 also put some focus on my YouTube channel. And feel free to check out those. And this is pretty much what I do. Welcome back, everyone. So this time we'll be doing an interesting thing that using React. And that interesting part is the biggest e-commerce site you might see in this world right now is Amazon. So there is a true story behind it, is that it's not actually Amazon, it's Emma-John. And this is started because someday Emma wanted to impress John with some money, and then they created something called Amazon. And our goal is today is to build something close to this that we will be continuously getting as much as possible within in an hour. So that's an exciting part. And if you have done correctly, you'll be seeing some part of that. If you purchase a camera, or even you purchase a phone, or even you purchase a laptop, it should be show that how many items that you have ordered, what is the total price of the items, and if possible, some calculation. And eventually you can we'll be able to review it, but we might not be able to get up to this point. But I will share the code so that if you want, you can explore yourself. And then eventually, if you want to place an order, and you will get a thumbs up from your buddy to make Jeff Bezos one of the richest person in the world. And for this purpose, we'll be using a few more things. One is definitely React in a little bit organized way. And then we will use React Router. And if possible, we will use Font Awesome to have some heart icon for the star and ratings. So we will start. And the first one will be, I will go to the command line. I will be typing CMD. And then I will go to the right directory. So this would be CD projects. And inside the projects, I would be doing creating a new React project. And that's why I will type npx create React app. This is exactly the same way we have done in the previous session. And you can give any name of this. It could be Amazon. And something I already have something like this. So Amazon maybe fun, something like this. And it will take a few minutes for this project to get started. And in the meantime, we will explore a little bit about React Router. So every application that you see that will have multiple pages to go. And when you go to the multiple pages, like for this one, it's going one page to another. You say /web and something, and you have moved from one place to another. And once you move one place to another, In that case, you are changing the path, you're changing the route, you change the location of it. And based on the location, you can actually load some data. So for example, I want to see detail of that item. And if you come to these applications, you want to see like these items, you can either click on something and then it will show you the detail of it. And even if you go to like a review order, it takes you look into this is /shop. If you click on this, it takes you to the order review page. That means you are changing the path or location of the thing you are seeing. And if you have any items in your cart, it would be displayed here. So if I add this item in the cart and go to the order review, I'll be seeing that item here. That means it can load some data based on the data selected by you. And this is called React Router. And router can do definitely much more fun thing. Like for example, you could protect a path. For example, if user is not logged in, you would not show anything to this user. And that exact same thing happens for Facebook. Say if you don't log in, they don't allow you to access anything there. And same thing like a Gmail doesn't allow you to do anything if you are not logged in, right? It's kind of like an empty space, like Twitter and everywhere. And that's done through redirect auth, or sometimes it's called private route. But before going to the routing fun, we will be definitely building something close to this one. And we already have this project. So our next step is to go to this path. So we will go to Amazon and then fun. And once we are going there, the first thing we will do is to open our code editor. And that's where we'll type code, there's a space and then dot. It will open the Visual Studio Code with this project, the one that we used exactly the same in the previous session. And after that, if we want to just see the output, we can write over here npm start. That's what they told us to do. And if we do so, this will create the output, whatever we are doing right now in the browser. And currently, there is their default text. That's why this React icon is rotating. And if you want to get rid of that dude, we can come to the app.js. They actually mention it here too. Edit src/app.js and save to reload. So since they told us to do so, we will get rid of everything inside here. So everything would be gone, and even this guy would be gone too. And we save this guy, and then you will see in your website is pretty much empty. And to start with this project, you will need some resources like the icon and maybe some images for the product and all this stuff. And to get those, you can go to GitHub, this resources, GitHub/programming hero, and then you can search for repositories that Emma John, and if you search for it, there is so many different versions of it, but the one we are interested is Amazon Simple Resources. And resources has like nothing but some images, the logo, icons, some utility, we might not use it today, and then some data. In the real world case, all the data for your website, in the real world case, all the data for your website would be coming from your database, and we will see how that could be done in our next session. So that would be even interesting in the next session. And for now, what we have done is to like created some fake data for our purpose. And the files that I just downloaded from the GitHub is here. And you can take all these 3 folders from here and come to your projects. So right here, and you can right click on it, and you can get like a reveal in File Explorer. And once it revealed, this is the folder, this is app.js and all this stuff, and the src folder actually we are doing, and then we are pasting these 3 files we needed. And there has like this one has some images, this is the icon or fab icon, and this is the logo that we have there, and then it has some files that actually data. If you want, you can look into those in a very briefly. And this is the fake data. If you look into the Android related data, these are minified, but all they have is like some price, some name, some URL of the image, and all these things. And eventually it has some utilities. It just like if you want to create a short database, and it will help you to do so. But anyway, we don't get much discussion on this part. Rather, we will start creating some component like this one. And to do so, in an application, mid-range or large application, you might write like several components. And for those cases, in the SRC, ideally, you will create a folder called components. This to tell that all the components is actually inside here. And inside the component, for every component, in some style or some approach, you will create a file name of the component. And in our case, we will create a header folder. And inside header folder, we will have header.js. And we will have another one, header.css. So that means we have a folder where we have like header.js and header.css. It's inside the components folder, inside the header folder. And inside our header.js, if we just type RSC and then tab, it will give us a structure of the component. And if I tab, and you can type something here, this is header. And to show the header in your website, if you create it, it will not be displayed right away. Rather, to display it, you need to do a little extra work. And that extra work would be done if you do some related work for this. And if I go here, and it is right now empty, and if I come here inside app.js, what we can do is to call that header component. And if you just type a angle bracket for the component and then type a header, and you will see if you have like an auto import installed, or that means if you install React some snippets, and then if you just press tab, it will auto import that component. You don't have to manually import it. And if that doesn't auto import doesn't work, you can definitely type it the way you see it. And after the header, I will put the closing angle bracket. Save this dude, and then if you come, you will see like this is header. And inside the header, if we go to the inside the header, what we can do, we can get rid of this and create the logo. And here you can say like, okay, I want to put an image tag, and the source would be the logo, and the logo would be coming. Right now you are in the headers folder. If you go one level up, you will see the component. And after the component, inside the images, you have something called logo. And this is the logo that we want to show. So what you can do, you said, okay, I want to import logo, the image from, and if you go, if you just type ... it will take you one level up. If you do ... it will go another level up. And you will see, if you scroll down, you'll see images, and inside images, you have the logo.png. And here, you can dynamically set with 2 bracket the logo. Save this guy, come to the website, you have really, really big size of logo. You don't want like that big of logo. It's very hard to see. So what do? You put some style to make it smaller. And doing that is like super easy. You need to do like 2 steps or 3 steps actually. The first one we'll say like in the CSS way, that dot header. If you have like a dot header and an image tag, and inside the image tag, okay, we need to do dot header, and then let's do one line down here, dot header. And if you have like an image tag, for that image tag, you want to do like a height of, for example, like an 80 pixel or 50, 60 pixel. So you have it like in a header, and then you have like an image. And you can do something like for the header, this would be text align center. And so we created a header class, and inside the header class, you have an image of height there. And now you come here, you can put like a class name. So by default, it will work if you put like a as a like a div class, but React ideally will give you warning that, hey, don't use the class because that class is a reserved word for ES6. And that's why you will put like a class name, and then you will use CSS class as it is. So this will be your header class. And right now your code is look like this way. And if you save this guy, it will be working. You need to do one extra thing. That extra thing is that right now this component doesn't have any connection with CSS yet, and you need to connect these two. And to connect these two, that should be import and dot header.css. That's pretty much it. And if you save it, you see this is small and this is centered in the center of the page. So once we have done this, we can definitely do something similar to this, and that's super easy actually. If we want to create some sort of navigation in the website, we can do a nav tag, and inside the nav, we can create multiple anchor. Anchor is like if you go one place to another. And if I tab it, it will create like multiple anchors. And if you want to see it in a very nice way, you can definitely do this way. And these are 3 different anchors. And you can do like, okay, in their website, they have like a shop, order review, inventory, something like this. And you can create like, this is your shop, and shop will have a link, and that should be /shop. And this would be your maybe review, order review, and this would be review. You can say like an order review. And last one is like an inventory. This is your inventory, and it's like a manage inventory, something like this. And if you do this, it will not look as fancy as you will expect. It will look something like this, but don't worry, with some style and CSS, we can make it a little better. So for now, I will put it on this side. So make sure that this is looking nice for me. And here in the header.css, we will do some work. So I will put it like this way here, and then see whether this works nicely for us. So for the nav, we will put some style nav tag, and this would be maybe like a background color black. So this will become say black, something like this. And we can do some make it higher. So this will be your text height. This will be your line height. So this will be line height. Maybe your line height is like 40 pixels, something like this. And then you can do like a font size. The font size would be 20 pixel. You can do so. So this will be a little bigger, and it has some underline and different color. So you can do like, if all the navigation anchored, you can say like, hey, inside any navigation, if there is an anchor, you need to make this color as a white. And if you do this, your color becoming white, and you have like underscore, you can get rid of this by text decoration is now, because you don't like any decorations. And you need, they are kind of like a very close to each other. You can say like a margin right as a, like say 20 pixel, something like this. So they would be like a little bit spaced out. And if you want to make it even bigger, you can put some padding of like 5 pixel. So this would be something like this, but it doesn't look like something you can click or do something. Even if you kind of click on it, you will see this route will change. So if you do this, it will change, this will change, this will change, but it doesn't feel like you can click on it. And you can easily do it. This would be like a nav. Inside nav, if you have any anchor, you want to do some hover style. Hover style is that if you hover on it, it will add a background color. So this would be background color would be say like a light, maybe light gray. I'll put something like this. And if you do this now, if you hover, it looks like you can click on this tool, and then if you click, it will go something. So with just few lines of HTML, few lines of CSS, and a simple component, we were able to create a reasonable header. And that's fun, but we want to make it even interesting. And that interesting part would be coming to display the product. And for that purpose, we will, since this is our shop route, we will create a component. We will actually create multiple components, but let's first start with the shop component. And in our style of folder churn. Inside the components, whenever we added the header, we added the header. Now we'll click on the components right away. Don't click here, then this folder will be inside header. So click on the components, you'll see this has an like an underline, very hard to see, but if you pay a little bit attention, you will see it. And you click on this add folder, click on this do, and you see that there is about to create a folder right here, and this would be your shop. And inside the shop, as usual, we will do shop.js. This is the component, and if you need to add some style, that would be shop.css. And this, okay, now we will start doing some work. And for our shop.js, as usual, we'll do RSC. This will create a simple component, and this could be, you can write here to check, this is shop. And if you want to integrate it with this your website, everything would be displayed from the app.js, and then they have to be connected. So I'll be creating an initial bracket for a component. If I type shop, and since I have auto import, I can just write it and press enter. This would be auto imported, and you can have the shop component right here, and you'll see this is shop written here. That means this two is connected. If you look into the website that we have, you see like this has actually two different sections. One is all the products, and another one is the shopping cart. So we can do that inside our shop component, and that means here we would be creating two div. So this would be our class name. So this is actually shop container. This will contain the shop. Inside it, actually two different areas or section. The first one we'll tell this is product container, because you will have some products. So if you type just dot, it will create like image, will create the class name for you. And the second one is dot cart container. This contains the shopping cart just for you. And you can say like this is cart, this is cart, and then it could be like this is cart. And you can have another text right here, a small that order, and then this would have like a order count or something, or items in order items, that how many items you have in your order, something like this. So right now they are actually in your website, and they would be looking like one underneath another. You need to do some CSS to make this little bit better. And so here we will like we will put like H4 or something like this. Products are here. Okay. So you have like one products are here, and then one is down and another is down. And we need to add some style for this. So, and if we go to our shop.css, we can add shop.css right here. And that would be let's close this guy, so this makes much easier. And this would be we'll create some class, and this would be our shop container, because we had this shop container. And to do so here, we will do like a dot shop container, and inside this container we will say like a display flex. And if you do this display flex, you need to connect with this guy, and we'll do import dot shop.css. So we create some CSS. Now we are connecting, because these two guys is getting married, right? So since they are married, they would have influence on each other. So right now it's she said that okay, we need to display in flex, and you see one is next to each other. So that's cool. Previously it was one underneath another. Once we make it display this way, and now we have like already have like product container and cart container, and we will give the product container a little more space. So this would be your product container, and then product container will say like a width is like 70%. And if we do 70%, you see this already pushes this guy on the right side, like taking 70%. And maybe we can do like a margin left is like 200 pixel, something like this. And you'll see it even further pushes these two this way. And you can do like a margin right, maybe like a 5 pixel. So if there is even more little bit push there, you can have a like a border right. Where is the border right? Border right 1 pixel solid, say light gray. And if you do this, you will have like a tiny light border right away. And you can add much more style if needed, and you can do like a card container view style, like a left padding and whatever needed, but we'll do this little later. So now our goal is to actually show some product. And we already, if you hosted the products in somewhere, we can load those using fetch, like the way we have seen in our previous session. However, since we have some fake data, we can easily import those and then use the same style. So here, if we need to load some data, we will go to like import fake data. And fake data is we imported once we downloaded there. The fake data is right now we're in the shop.js. We go one level up. This is shop. We go one level up. This is the component, and one level up is like your SRC and the fake data. And fake data has some index.js. We'll be importing this fake data from there. So, and importing this is like super easy. So we select import fake data, and this would be from. And if we go to like one level up, we have see like all these shop folders, and on this app, you see we will get this fake data. And if you just import from there, you will have some fake data. But we want to import it in a nicer way. If you remember the previous way, if you are trying to load data from JSON placeholder or any other place, you need to do three things. First thing you need to do is to use some effect. That means you are loading something external, there might be some side effect. And that's why you will do like any use effect. And once you have this, you can press, go to the auto import. You see it's suggesting the auto import, press enter, and you see the use effect is coming here. And inside the use effect, you will create a callback function like this, and you will declare no dependency right now. Inside it, you declare some kind of like a fetch. Since we are not doing the fetch because we are not going to the URL right now, we can avoid the fetch part, but we need to store it somewhere. Because if you load the data, think about the case is that if there is no data, that's one state or one case. And if you load the data, then you have the data. That's a different case. So you see the state or something is changing, and that's why you will declare an state. And if you remember, to declare an state on the right side, we use something called use state. And if you use state, if you press on this one, look at here, use state will be auto imported. So I click on this, use state is auto imported. And what we are loading a lot of products. And that's why this is a collection of products, and right side would be use state like this way. On the left side, we will declare on the constant, we will have two things. First one would be the products. That's the items would be stored in the state. And the second one is the set products, which is a function we would be using this way. So right now our use effect not doing anything. So we can see here that how many products are there. You can say dynamic way with two brackets, and you can call the products. And since the default value is an array, you can use the length, that how many items are there. If you save this dude, you see products is 0 because there is no products loaded, but you can select products, save it, and that right now your products is 0. And since we have this fake data, you can use the fake data to set the products. And you can say like a set products and use the fake data right now. And in the next session, we'll be using a realistic data for our application. So I said this guy, now you see you have 81 products. And if you want to see it, what are the fake data, you can definitely see those what they have console log fake data. Save this guy, come here and the inspect. And if you go to the console, you see 81 items is right here. And if you expand any of those, this is the first one, it has a key, it has a category, it's the name of the product, and you have like the seller name, you have the wholesale price, and then you have like image URL. This is the image URL, the picture of the image. This is the actual Amazon link if you actually wants to buy that dude. And then how many star rating, what is the shipping cost. and all this cool stuff. And this product might have some features. So every product has a name, every product has an image URL, every product has a link, every product has a special key or ID that you can use for this purpose. And we'll be utilizing all these things in a very nice way. So we come back here, and instead of like a products and how many products you have, what you can do, you can tell like, hey, I would dynamically would like to show the product name. And if you remember, if we have done for the frames data that we loaded in our last case, we use this dynamic second bracket to tell React, hey, this would be your dynamic code. And for the products, you can do like a map, and then map for each product. So it will look through, and for each product, you can do something very dynamic way. For example, you can just have a paragraph, right? And you can create a paragraph for right now, and then we can definitely make it better. For paragraph, you can insert the paragraph, you can write product.name. And if you save it, come here, you will see all the products name will be displayed here. But we don't want to show it in this ugly way. Rather, we want to show it in a little bit organized way. That means it would be something like a product, will have an image, will have some button, have some text, and a lot of cool stuff. So to do so, we would like to see some behavior here. And this behavior, if you pay some attention, is say like, okay, they are similar in look, different in data, because everybody has a button, everybody has an image, and the text is different. Obviously, it is a different product, but the seller name is different, the price is different, but they are similar in look, different in data. That means they would be a component, right? And declaring a component is a piece of cake for us. You already see the components. Click on this components folder, click on this plus, and then you will type the product, because this would be your product component. And inside the product, you can create two files. Like it would be like a product.js, and another one, what would be that? That would be product.css. So we are creating two different files, pretty much every component, right? Header has like header CSS, product has product, shop has shop. So if you create your access component, that would be x and x.css. So that's super easy. You can do it. And to create a brand new, you can say like an RSC, this will be your product component. And you can say like some kind of like an H4, this is product, something like this. And if you do this, so right now in your shop.js, what you can do here, instead of creating a paragraph for each item, you can use the product component. So instead of P, you can say like product. And if you auto import, it would be auto imported here, like product from product.product. And here you can just change it to product. So now for each product, it will actually go to this product component, and then we'll create the product component. And so if you save it, in your case, you'll say this is product so many times. And you don't need this anymore. Instead, if you remember that we need to pass data to a component using props. So you can like here, so for example, gives any name, say this could be a data, and the value of the data would be product. And some people like to give it the same name so that it becomes actually meaningful on that other side too. So you can name, and the value could be anything. So the value is the product because it's looping through each of the product, and you will be seeing it here. And for this name of the property, you can actually name it product too. So the way it sounds like that, you are passing the product data, and the name of the props would be product as well. So you'd be reading product props, and you will get the product data. That's simple, right? Set this guy, come here, and here you can do like a props. And inside the props here, you can do like some kind of like destructuring, or you can do it like a usual way. So in the props we are getting here, and in the H4 we can tell, hey, we need to do some work here. So instead of this is product, we'll do props, and props will have a product because we passes the product, and product has a name. We save this guy, and we come to the website. You see all the product name is available right here. And so we did something, but we want to do it like this way. This way means like it will have an image, it will have something like this. So we can make it a little bit different. So this would be our class, and this would be our product container. And inside the product container, we will have like two div. First div will have some image of the product, and second div will have this type of like an H4. So if you save it in your website, it will look pretty similar, but it moved on some on the right side. And here you can actually do the image. Image is like super easy. All you need to do for the image is pretty similar to the what you have done for the header.js in the image, and use like dynamic way. So we'll close this guy, close this dude, so that we don't have a lot of stuff. And here the src would be every product has an image, img. If you remember the data, and if you don't remember, you can explore in the console log. It would be in the console log. I think still it would be there. So if you go to the console, your 81 items, and you see every single product will have an img property. So this is the product, and it will have an img. This is the URL of the image. So you can say like, okay, for the props dot product, and it has like an img. And if you save this dude, you see like everyone has a image and a title, and it goes one below another. We can easily make it side by side like the way we did for display flex. So we already have this product.css. We can create some. This is like class product container, and then inside the container we can say like a display flex. And this will not work right away until you create a relationship between this. They are single. You need to make them mingle. So you can like import and then dot product dot css. And after doing so, if you come here, they goes to next to each other. And we might have done some kind of like mistake. Product container image div. Okay, this is the h4, and this. And if you do this, product container display flex. Okay, and if we do this way for the product, let's see what different we have done here. Product container class name, this is the div image, and then props, this is in this way. So if I get rid of this product.css display flex, and in this case they are next to each other, but it creates something product container, because we actually did some sort of duplicate class name. Actually in the shop we use that product container as well, and there also is like a product container. So we can say like, okay, product or single product item, or something like that, single product container. However, this one, if we do this here, and we'll do here that instead of product container, we say like a single product container. Now this would be almost fixed. You see like this has a name next to each other. Looks very reasonable, but you need to do little bit style, say some margin padding, and that we can easily do. Say like, for example, margin bottom is like 10 pixels. So they are not next to each other. There is a gap. And if you want to do, you can do like a border bottom. So you say like a border bottom, and this will be 1 pixel solid light gray. If you do so, now your each product has some sort of lines, and you can see like next is not like next to each other. If you want, you can do like a padding bottom as like a 5 pixel or 10 pixel if you want to. So there is some gap. So let's make it like a 10 pixels. So there is some gap between this. And if you want to, you can actually change the title. That's super easy. You can put like a class name, and this would be product name. And you can do product name to here. They come here, and this would be product name. And here this would be say like a color is blue. And then if you don't want to like a font weight to be this bold, you can select a font weight is 400, something like this. And if you do so, it looks very close to what we are trying to do. And then you can do some extra information right here, that who is the seller, what is the price, and all these things. And we can definitely easily show one simple thing at least. that's like a price. This would be like a only, that means like they always say like only, and inside it would be like a props. From the props of the product you will get the price. And if you want, you can put a like a dollar sign in front of it, so that it looks like a price, like only this amount. And you can provide like the seller name or something, by who is like selling. And this would be like your props dot product dot seller, who is selling it. So this is the buy seller, and then only remaining this amount of stock, and you can do so many other stuff. But our eventual goal is to create a button. So we'll create a button and add to cart. This is what actually we are much interested. So you have a button to add to cart, so that this is added to the cart, and that will be a fun thing. And you can add some style to this button, and this would be button, and you can say like, hey, this button, for this button, if you want to see it on this way, and for this button we need to add some style. And so do this style is to say like a background color would be some golden brown. So you will see something like this. And for the maybe you can say like a width is 180 pixel, so it will like even a little bit bigger. Maybe you can make it like a height is 40 pixel or 20 pixel. 40 is too much. If it's 40 is too much, you can make it 20. So maybe like make it 30, something like this. So that this is like 30. And you can say like a border, 1 pixel solid, and then maybe light gray, our favorite light gray. So do this. This would be something like border, and you can make it even better. It's like border radius would be like a 10 pixel or 5 pixel, whichever it looks. Okay, we'll keep it like a 10 pixel. And if you want to do the color, you can make the color white, or just keep this way. Or you can say like a font weight. Font weight is like bold, which is like 700, something like this. And you can leave it this way. It's at least this is something you can click, and then it will do something, will tell, hey, you want to purchase this item, do this thing. So we got this button. Now we need to do a little bit interesting thing to add some click handler on this. Think about it like a case or a state that if you click on something, then your shopping cart, think about a state that how many items in your shopping cart right now is 0. There is nothing is added. That means it's a state. If you click on add to cart of any item, that item would be added to the shopping cart. That means you are adding something there. And the state of the card is changing. If you add 2, it would be 2 items there. If you add 20, there will be 20 items. That means the number of items in the shopping cart could change or vary. And whatever could change or vary based on user actions is called a state. That's pretty simple. So we will do here that here we want to create another state, and this will be shopping cart. So this would be a cart, the shopping cart, and then set cart. That means you are setting the cart. And on the right side, you'll do as use a state, and shopping cart, you will have multiple products. That means you could have like multiple items. That means its default value is empty array. And here, since your shopping cart is here, but where is the button? You don't have the button right here. Rather, your button is on the product. And while we are here, since we have the shopping cart order items, you can make it dynamic right here. And this would be cart.length. That means how many items in the cart. If I save this guy, this will say like a 0. And right now, you need to think a little bit seriously that your state is here. That means if you click on the cart or add to the product item, that means if something is added, it would be added to this cart. So wherever is your state, you need to declare the event handler here. So you do like a arrow function or regular function. This would be handle add to cart. And this would be your new function. So when you're adding to the cart, where do it be adding? You'd be adding a product. And once you're adding the products, the arrow function, and inside the arrow function, you need to do 2 things. And this would be like, say, for example, your constant new cart. And this is a little bit interesting. This might confuse a little bit in the beginning, but don't worry. Whenever you are creating a new array based on the state change, all you need to do is to copy everything in the current cart and then add the new item. and you need to do it so that React can manage the state change very nicely in a functional way, other than kind of like a reactive way. So you do like a dot 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 cut. That means you are copying everything. The 3 dots is very similar to 3 idiots is from ES6 that allows you to copy everything from an array and you just add the product. Think about it, you have this amount of a box and your box is full with 5 items. Now you purchase another one. What do you need to do? You need to purchase a bigger box. Whatever you have in the previous box, put everything here and then add the new item you are adding. That's pretty much it. So this is your new cart, and then you need to set cart because you got a new cart and set the cart to this new cart. That's it. So this is your handle add to cart. But where is your button? Your button is in the product component. So how you connect these two? The simplest way to connect is to pass the props, and you can add props here too. So what you can do, you can pass like I usually like to give it the same name like the props is like a handle add to cart, and its value would be handle add to cart. And if it is too long, you can obviously, if you try, you can press this new line. You can press new line. Some people does this so that it is much easier to read if you need to provide a lot of data to a component. So, but anyway, we previously was passing product. Now we are passing handle add to cart, and this is the function. So that means using props, you can definitely pass data. You can pass text, and also you can pass a function. So we are sending a function here. Since we are sending the function to this one, we'll be able to read it from props.handle to cart. And here, if you remember in our last video, we can add on click. And if you add on click, you need to do 2 things. The first thing is to, like if we do it the right way, we need to use the function. This is like a props in the props dot handle handle add to cart, something like this. And if you do so, you need to tell this function that, hey, which product you want to going to add. And this is a little bit tricky, and it confuses the beginners whenever you are starting on the React, that whenever you call this, put this parenthesis is actually calling the function. And since you are calling the function to pass the product, you cannot call right away because you will call when somebody clicks on it. So for that purpose, you need to make it like a wrap around a function to make it like a higher order function, something like this, by wrapping it as like an arrow function. So if you do so, well, that's pretty much will do the work for you. But this part in the first time when I started looking into it confuses me a lot. But trust me, if you keep using it this way, it will get better. And this giving us an error that in the product page, a product is not defined. And this is line 15. So what is line 15 here? Props.handle product, actually product is not defined because the product is actually props.product. So you can change it. Props.product. So if you save it, so that is gone. Now look into this guy, right? If I click on this, if this works, it should be add 1, and if it clicks 1, it's add another 1, and if you click 1, this would be 4. So that means every time I click on something, this gets added, right? So that means like you are adding items in the shopping cart. But we want to like show it even better way. That means like what is the total price? But so far we got this exciting part of like, if you click on some button, if I reload it, look at this is 0. If I click on it, it's like if I click twice, it will add like 2. If you click once, it will do. If I click like very quickly, if the products are there, we can make it much better. But at least in a simple way, if you click on it, you can see that how many items are there. So our goal is to calculate that how many items are there. And for that purpose, what we can do, we can actually create a cart component. And that's not hard for us because we already created so many components. So I select on the components and then I do cart. And inside the cart, the first thing we do is like cart.js. And the second thing we do is to cart.css. And cart.js, all we need to do rsc, and you will create a cart. And this will be the text, what we need to do. From your shop.js, previously you were using this is cart and your order items total cart.length, something like this. Now, instead of this, you will use the cart component. So I'm auto importing the cart component right here. but how the cart component will get the cart. And the only way you pass data to a shopping cart, like mostly only way, there is other way you can do it, but one reasonable way is to pass the data, and that would be like we'll be passing the cart, and since this would be getting the value, that would be the cart. So we save this guy, we come to our cart.js, and then we need to read it from the props. So whatever the data we are passing, and here we will put like this, and if you want to format it, just Alt+Shift+F, and then here, since we don't have like cart, but we have like props. So in our props, we have like cart. That's it. So we save this dude. We come here. Now, if you click on it, you see this is a different component. Now, two component. This is our all the single products. It goes to the shop and it updates the shopping cart. We'll explain the whole code little later, and then it adds the item over there. You see, and this is right here. And if you do a console log like props.cart, you'll see the shopping carts gets updated right away. Say for example, and then data gets loaded here. So we get rid of this stuff, we add this, you see this shopping cart, there are 4 items. This is like 5 items. This is 6 items. So if you reload this and then get rid of this, your shopping cart is empty right now. Right now empty. If you click on it, it's 1 item here. If you see, this is the product like this Android that you see, even for Android 6.0 TV, this one you have added. Now, if you add like say this laptop, you see this is 2 second items is added. This is the second one, Samsung Chromebook you have added. If you add this SCG, you see these 3 items in your shopping cart, and this is your SCG. So you're getting actually everything. And since you get everything, you can actually calculate the total price right away. And you can do like say let total is equals to 0. Or we will not do the tax calculation right now, but you will get this idea that total is equals to your variable total. So you display the total. And then you put like a dollar in front of it if you want. So it will show you in the UI that, hey, your total is $0, and you can do like so many different ways. You can use like a reduce to look through the whole all the cart, or you can do a simple way, a for loop. And if you do this for loop, you will get like an index I, and you will go over every item. This would be like a props dot cart dot length. And for every props.cart, you will get an element, and every element will have a price. So you'll see that console, every element is nothing but a product actually in our case. So this will be our product. And here you'll see console log for now, console log product.price. And if I save this guy, you'll see in all the prices, the items you have 3 is like 40, 898, 169, 26 is there. And we can actually add this. So we can say like, hey, total would be whatever the previous value of the total plus every product dot price. And that's pretty much it. So if you save this guy, you come here, you see your 244 price is there. If you add like one more items right here, you see the price rate for 13. You add like this is $20. That means it will add for 34. And if you add like this laptops or something like this, and those items would be added over there. And sometimes you'll see like a this big number. Don't worry, you can make this even better if you want to do it this way. And the way you need to do it, that second bracket, there's so many different ways you can do it. To fixed, like you want to like to fixed like to precision, something like this. And if it is not a number, we can do different types of formatting some other way. But anyway, you got the idea that how we can handle that, how you display the total price there as well. So we got the basic part of this part done, and the next part we want to explore is to the React router. So React router, we have seen a little bit glimpse of it, and you can use the router for the web. And we need npx create React demo. We already did that. We created the app. And then second thing, you need to install this guy. So I copy this one, and you can actually have a terminal here, and then you can paste this guy. and then this will install the React router DOM just for you. And if you look into the first uses, this is actually super easy for you. All you need to do is to input all this stuff and then create a router overall, and inside the router tell different path to do different things. And we see that whether this installation is completed, so we don't need this anymore. Now we can do all this part from here. So we can import all the browser related stuff. So we come here, we go to the app.js and say, hey, I need all these React router related things. And what do you see, like everything, your header and everything should be underneath this router. So you do here and you say like everything, maybe this could be, you can replace actually this is like your router and this is your router. So this is your browser router, you put the router here and your header and everything inside it, and you can change it to the links, all this anchored to the link, you can do so. But the core path comes is like a switch. That means like in a single time, think about like you have like 4 different roads. In a single time, you cannot go to like this road and this road, unless you are some kind of gene or some kind of ghost, right? A normal human being, you can either going to this path and you are not going other two, or you're going this path, you're not going the next one, something like this. So this is actually switch. So we can copy the switch here, and then inside this, we say like this is our switch. So we need to copy with this bracket. And when you are going to this, say like shop path, we want to display the shop component. So we take out this shop, and then when you go to the shop path, we want to the shop component. And there is another one, like this is like a home component. Some people has this is your root, or you can do like a home component if you want. Some cases you can put, let's format this guy. Okay, this is the shop, and some people put like an exact here. And if it exactly this one, show the shop component, something like this. And if you want to have like, so for example, we have like a review, right? If you go to the review, we want to show the review. Right now, we don't have a review component, but don't worry, we can create one because creating is like cheap. You don't have to pay for it. This is your review folder, and inside review, we do like a review.js. And if we want to add the CSS, this will be review.css. In the review.js, we can do RSC, and we can say like an H3, this is review. So we set this guy, we come here, and here instead of this users, we use review component, right? So we did up to this point, and this is, if you go to this, there is nothing, you will go to the shop. If you have the shop, then you'll go to the shop. And if you do the inventory, you can create another route. This is super easy. Like creating a route is like you're creating the route, and every route you need to mention the path, that which path it will go. So this would be your, for example, inventory. And when you go to the inventory, you will be showing the inventory component. And if you needed, you can create the inventory component as well. So here is it could be like inventory, and then here would be inventory.js and RSC. We are not creating the CSS here, just to make it quick. So this is inventory component. Save this guy, and here we will get this inventory, and we'll put like this one. Let's see whether we get any error or things work so far. So this is this way. So if you have done this way, so if you click on this shop, it is still in the shop. And if you go to the review, you see this is review. And if you go to the inventory, this you are going to the inventory. If you do this shop, it comes to the shop. If you the order review and then you are not any path, like nothing is there, in that case, whenever is nothing, exactly this, it goes to the shop. So we, very simple steps, were able to implement a routing too. And routing, you can go much more beyond. So for example, you want to read some data based on the route parameter. This is called like a dynamic parameter. Like based on some ID, you want to load some data and show that data, you would be obviously able to do it. Then I will encourage you to explore much more, especially if you have like a few more hours, you can use params, like the way you would be able to load some dynamic parameter. And if you want to explore a little bit advanced thing, that would be like your auth redirect, so that you can prevent somebody to access some part of your application if they are not logged into this system. So that's pretty much everything today I wanted to share with you. I will do a quick recap because we actually did some interesting stuff. That means we started with a brand new React application, and inside the React application, we went through creating the header component. We put the image and we put a navigation, and this is the navigation, and then we just put some style. And that's how we were able to create this. If you go to the review, definitely this would be your all the items in your cart. And if you come here, and this would be coming back to your shop items. And this is actually, we told you that, okay, this is similar in look, different in data. So similar, these two have like a different image, but they are similar in pattern, but similar in look. And this has different title, but they have this button. So you can get the idea that this is the way they look, and that this is actually a component. And all this thing is like fed data, all these items, but with one particular component. And that particular component is your product component. And product component, you don't have like actually a lot. You have like in some div image, and then inside you have like the product name, price, the seller, and a button. This button handler could be a little bit tricky for the first time when you start looking into it, but after that it becomes much easier. And then in the shop, we did like a bunch of stuff, not a lot, but at least you got the idea. We created like a two part of the shop. One is our product container, another on the cart, on the right side cart and the left side. In the product, we actually looked through, or we mapped every single items, and then we created a product component and passed the product. And also we had an event handler, because user would be clicking on the button, and once user is clicking on this button, then it would be displayed on the right side that how many items there are. And not only that, it would be calculating the price of the items, and the calculation is done right here. So that's pretty much it from here. So I would like to pause here, and next session will be much more fun to use actual data other than using some fake data that we have used right here, the fake data. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.